So today I'm going in depth on foundations and concealers. Please watch till the end. And if you ask me, Pim, is there any product or even a foundation that can make my complexion fairer? You know what I want to say to that? Get up. Okay, so let's get on with the video. If my makeup looks a little bit too glowy and a little bit too creepy, it's because it is. So what is foundation? Nothing. It's just a product that gives you an even base. That's it. That's its main purpose. I wouldn't say it conceals as well because there are some foundations that don't, and we're going to get onto that right now. So foundations come in 3 coverages: sheer, medium and full. Sheer coverage foundations will give you an even base, but it will not conceal. Medium coverage foundations will do a little more. It might conceal a bit, but some imperfections will peek through. Full coverage foundations, on the other hand, conceal almost everything. Foundations also come in 3 kinds of finishes. One is dewy, the other is semi-matte, and the last is matte. A foundation having dewy finish will give you a shiny, luminous appearance. It's very good for people with dry skin, and even people with normal skin can pull it off, but people with oily or combination skin should stay away from this kind of foundation. Foundations having a semi-matte finish is a very favorable one because it goes on almost every skin type. People who have oily skin can just add a little bit more powder after applying the foundation, and people who have dry skin can just apply more moisturizer before applying their makeup. Semi-matte foundations also have a subtle glow to them, so if you want the new trendy dewy look, you will achieve that from the semi-matte foundations. A matte foundation is ideal for people with oily or combination skin types because it minimizes the appearance of pores and hence, gets rid of excess oil, and it makes your face look a little 2D. It won't have any kind of glow, but you can always add highlighter. People with dry skin should stay far away from any kind of matte foundation. So when you're buying yourself a foundation and you're unsure about what kind of shade to go for, please go for a shade which is extremely close to your natural skin tone. If you go for a lighter or a darker foundation, your skin tone is gonna come out really awful. You may go for a hair lighter or a hair darker of a shade, but anything beyond that and your base is gonna turn out either muddy if it's too dark or ashy or gray if it's too light. You cannot get a fairer complexion with a lighter foundation or any kind of product off the shelf. And you should not want to. Each and every one of you is beautiful with beautiful skin, even if you have problem skin, whether you have acne, you have blemishes, you have pigmentation, you have whatever. You guys are beautiful, and just so you guys know how much I don't care about how someone's skin is and makeup is just about fun, you guys will see a kind of demonstration of me putting on concealer later in the video, and you will see my bare face, and I'm not ashamed of it, so you guys can get ready for that. Keep watching. I might get a lot of hate or criticism for this, but I just have to talk about it, okay? Just forget everything else. We have to talk about this. There is something you need to know about the brand Lovely, previously known as Fair and Lovely. So for decades, this particular company has sold something in the name of a fairness cream. Let me tell you guys, there's no such thing as a fairness cream. It's just a physical brightening cream that leaves a white cast on your face, giving the illusion of a fairer complexion. I guess the company was aware that the public wouldn't have knowledge of this, and that's why they profited off of that. Continuous use of a physical brightening cream can start clogging your pores, and also this product has a ton of parabens which can cause serious skin issues. Any kind of brightening cream that you get in the market can just reduce the appearance of dark spots, pigmentation, and may remove tan to an extent. There is no product that you can just buy off the shelf that will make your skin lighter, and the only product that does that is bleach, but bleach will most probably give you skin cancer because of the high mercury content in it. I mean, think about it. Have you heard any other brand making anything called a fairness cream? This obsession with skin lightening should be a thought and practice of the past because every skin is beautiful. It doesn't matter if you have pigmentation, discoloration, acne, skin irritation, whatever. Just you guys are all beautiful, and don't let anyone encourage you or let you believe that your skin tone or your skin color is not ideal. It makes me so mad. I'm out of breath. Coming back to foundations. You can either use a brush to apply your foundation. This is a kabuki brush. This is pack 265. Or you can use a beauty blender or beauty sponge. Or you can use your good old trusty fingers. So when you're applying foundation, make sure that you take a little bit at a time, because you can always add more but you can never take away. If you're using a brush like this to apply your foundation, make sure that you go in circular motions or do small taps. If you try to sweep it across your face, it's going to leave a lot of streaks and marks which you don't want. If you're using a beauty blender or beauty sponge, make sure that you get it wet, because it applies best when it's wet, but make sure that it's not soaking, because then it's going to be a big mess on the hands. So the sponge will grow in size, and that's when you know that it's ready. Take a little bit from your hand and lightly dab all over your face. You can use the corner, like the tear, the top of the tear shape, for the nook and crannies, like applying concealer around your nose and all those nook and crannies of the face. It really helps with that. So it's a really efficient tool. If you're using your fingers, do small taps, very small taps. It's going to take longer time, but honestly, your fingers are the best blenders. I mean, to blend concealer under the eyes with your ring finger is like a magical thing, and it does the job really quickly. So when you're applying foundation, there are a few things you must keep in mind. Always bring it down to the neck, at least till the nape of the neck, and that way your face and your neck will not look like two different tones. And at the end, whatever is left of your brush or your sponge, take that and just dab it a little bit on your ears, because otherwise your ears look extremely bare. So you know, foundations come in different kinds of packaging and even different kinds of applicators. This is a Wet n Wild foundation. It comes in a glass bottle and it is really good. It's one of my favorites. And this gives a semi-matte finish, and it has a spatula applicator, which makes the edges of the mouth really dirty, but I mean, I love the foundation, so I don't mind. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation, and this comes in an acrylic bottle, and it also comes with a pump, which is literally a lifesaver. This is a stick foundation from the brand Sugar Cosmetics. I believe this is one of their newer foundations, and it's called the Ace of Face Foundation Stick. And it comes in a plastic component with a roll-up retractable format. You can do a couple of lines, sweep across your face, and blend it out either with a beauty blender or a brush. I wouldn't suggest using the brush that they've added on the other end, because it's not really going to do a good job. I mean, if you're on a whim, you can go for it, but I mean, it's not really gonna work. Lastly, foundations also come in squeezy tubes. This is the newest Nykaa Skin Shield Anti-Pollution Foundation, and it's pretty high coverage, and like I said, it comes in a squeezy tube, which is also good. I mean, I prefer pump the most, but a squeezy tube is like the next best thing. Foundations from high-end brands or luxury brands are a little bit more at a higher price, because the ingredients they use are a lot better than the ones that you get at the drugstore. Plus, they sometimes infuse skincare in their foundation or makeup range. Now let's move on to concealers. Concealers have a higher coverage compared to foundations, and also the consistency is a lot thicker, which is why it comes in smaller tubes or smaller bottles, and you need very little to cover most of the areas of your face. When it comes to concealer, less is more. If you own a concealer and you find yourself always having to use a lot of it to try and cover your imperfections or dark patches, chances are it is not a good concealer. Another reason why your concealer might not be covering up well is because you probably need color correction. Now, what is color correction? In short, color correctors help you fix or correct the areas which may have hyperpigmentation, discoloration, or even too much redness. Now, I will just briefly mention what each of the color correctors do and how they fix your problem areas. An orange color corrector, like this one right here, will help you correct dark patches or even dark circles. A green color corrector like this one from LA Girl, this is the Pro Conceal. This will help you cover up any kind of redness. So people battling with acne can really benefit from this. A yellow color corrector like this one right here will help you cover up bruises or any kind of dark patches with a bluish undertone. On the contrary, a lavender color corrector like this one from LA Girl, the Pro Conceal, this will help correct any kind of excessive yellow hue on the skin, or if you have paleness. If you happen to have heavy dark circles but you have a lighter complexion, then instead of going for a dark orange color corrector, you need to go for a peach one. Now let me be clear about one thing. You don't need a corrector unless you have visible skin issues that you wish to cover up. Otherwise, a good concealer will work just fine for you. So you know how every makeup artist has their own set of techniques and their own secrets? Well, today I'm going to share you one of mine. You must have heard a lot of beauty YouTubers and all these makeup gurus tell you that you should buy a concealer that is 3 shades lighter to your skin tone. Well, I'm here to tell you that is not the case. Take it from me, you should use a concealer that is 1 shade darker than your skin tone. Now before you attack me, let me explain. If you have even a little bit of pigmentation or dark circles under your eyes and you use a lighter concealer to try and cover that up, you're kind of repeating the same mistake that people do with foundations. You're using a lighter color to try and conceal something that's dark and it's going to end up looking ashy. Just so you guys have a clear idea on why I'm emphasizing wearing a darker shade of concealer under the lighter, more brightening concealer, I'm going to show you a side-by-side demonstration of me wearing just the lighter shade on one side and that over a darker concealer on the other side, just so you guys get to see a difference. Welcome to my bare face. So on this under eye, I will show you how the lighter concealer looks just by itself, and on this one, I will show you how it looks over a darker concealer. I'm using the Flower Beauty concealer. This is the Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer, and it's in the shade Light. I'm just gonna put just a few swipes because you don't need a lot with this one. This is a full coverage concealer, but the sad part is that it's very hard to get one for Indian skin tones. So guys, as you can see, this is a concealer which is 1 shade lighter than my skin tone and it looks slightly ashy. It does do the trick of covering, but I feel like something's missing and that I don't know, I feel like there's some ashiness peeking through, and that's always been a problem with me, and I've heard a lot of people complain about this. So I'm going to show you how it looks over a darker concealer on this side and you guys will see the difference. So I'm taking this concealer palette. This is the Nykaa Skin Genius Conceal and Correct palette in the shade Light 01, and I'm going to take this shade right here on this Pro Art PF 01 brush. So I'm just gonna take a little bit and I'm gonna apply it on this side of my eye. As you can see, it's a lot darker than my skin tone for a concealer. So I blended the darker concealer under this eye, and now I'm gonna put the lighter shade to brighten up this under eye. I'm gonna use just a little bit for this side because I've already done the coverage part, like it's already concealed. I'm now only brightening. So I have blended out the lighter shade on top of this as well, and as you can clearly see, this side looks so much more natural and this side looks a little ashy and, let's be honest, a little fake, if you will. And this is a trick I do all the time instead of reaching for a corrector, because I do have dark circles but it's not so intense that I need a corrector, and I feel like that's a problem with a lot of people. So I'd suggest you either get 2 concealer, one darker than your skin tone and one for brightening, or you just get one darker concealer and then wear a foundation over that once you're done blending it, and it will really do the trick. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this demonstration because this is my first one on camera and it feels weird. Just like foundations, I'm sure you know concealers also come in different kinds of packaging and applicators. You guys have already seen this one. Concealers do come in palettes like this and even little pots. This one specifically, the Nykaa Skin Genius Conceal and Correct palette in the shade medium. It has a lot of shades, and yes, it's more useful for a makeup artist, but if you do practice my technique, this might come in handy. Plus, you can use the darkest shade as cream contour. This is a very good Wet n Wild concealer. This is the PhotoFocus concealer, and this comes in a standard doe foot applicator. Most concealers come in this kind of applicator, and they're the most useful because they're the easiest to use and to apply. This is the Overachiever Concealer by Huda Beauty, and this has really high coverage. This is a squeezy tube that comes in a steel tip, which is also known as the Zamac tip, that is supposed to get rid of puffiness and dark circles under the eyes. So yeah. Lastly, a cult favorite, this is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. It comes with a sponge tip applicator, but I removed it because I am me I don't know how many people actually watched this far, so if you have, thank you so much for your support. And I'd like you to comment llamas are beautiful in the comment section below, just so people who haven't watched this far can get really confused. If this was an informative video for you and you liked it, please do leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!